Myself?
Just moving north, a few hundred feet or whatever to the other side.
We're on,
No, I don't have my backers on.
can you say?
It's just a connection because it's stuck.
Right there, YouTube, and now I can't do it.
Phase 4.
I get a stage fright.
Phase 3.
Oh, look at that, I never had
That was the section. Of Paddington when it passed.
Wow.
Look at that.
You say I can have that.
Glad I could do that. How are you doing? All right.
Bobby, are you?
Yeah, I screwed
Thank you. Thanks, I'm quite
Sure, my microphone's on. And here. All right, 6 o'clock, I'll call this meeting to order. Tonight, our invocation will be done by the Mayor Pro Tem Kaczynski and our Pledge of Allegiance by Commissioner Way.
Please pray with me. Dear Lord, thank you for bringing us here tonight, and thank you for the short time we had with our canine, Dex. He was a 19-month-old German Shepherd that was imported from Europe. Dex joined the CREEDMOOR Police Department on August 19th, and Officer DeSantis was his handler. Dex suddenly passed away on Sunday, September 8th, 2024. I want to thank our Chief of Police, Chief Wheelis, for the getting Dex for us. And Lord, thank you for not letting this dog suffer as we lost him. And I'm going to ask now for a moment of silence in honor of Dex. Dex was an active member of the CREEDMOOR Police Department, and he will be missed. Thank you, Lord, for everything you've done for us, for our citizens, and help us to make CREEDMOOR a better place.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Still hit bells. All right. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Wilkins.
Present.
Commissioner Albright.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Kaczynski.
Present.
Commissioner Way. Commissioner Gleason. Mayor Wheeler.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, we move now to approval of the agenda. Is there any additions or subtractions?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir. Commissioner Way.
if we could add 6C, proclamation for Fire Prevention Week.
All right, any other additions or subtractions? Not seeing any, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda. The addition. We have a motion by Commissioner Wilkins. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Agenda is approved. At this time, item 5, consent agenda. I'll entertain a motion to approve. So moved. Motion is made by Commissioner Gleason. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Motion carries 5-0. That covers through there. We move to item 6, introductions, recognitions, and presentations. Introduction of Amy Langston Ely, Executive Director with Families Living Violence Free. Mr. Turner.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, Commissioners. It's my honor tonight to introduce to the group Ms. Amy Langston. Families Living Violence Free Board of Directors recently appointed Amy as their new Executive Director. She brings a wealth of experience and a proven track record of success to Granville County. Throughout her career, Amy has expertly managed teams, integrated emerging technologies, and ensured compliance with laws to minimize legal risk. She holds an administrative license from Garner-Webb University, a Master of Science degree in Instructional Education from American Continental University, and a Bachelor of Science degree in Organizational Management from St. Paul College. At this time, I'd like to ask Amy if you would come to the podium, please.
Usually I have you introduce yourself and give us your address, but we've already got that, so.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for this opportunity to give information from Families Living Violence Free. I am the new Executive Director. I came on board in May, and I'm very happy to be here in Granville County. Thank you for your hospitality. Just to share just a little bit of information, Families Living Violence Free is located in Oxford, North Carolina. We are on the campus of Central Children's Home. Some of the services that we offer are our crisis line, 24-hour crisis line. We also offer our bilingual crisis line with advocates 24 hours a day, court and medical assistance. We don't give legal advice, but we offer support and services and resources. We have a host of community outreach that we have throughout Granville County. Just talking about our bilingual advocate services, we offer a host of different languages. It's just not for our Hispanic community, but we offer many bilingual services to assist. We know that we have a growing population. Our mission is giving a voice and support to domestic violence and sexual assault victims. As I mentioned, we are located, we are the Granville County Domestic Violence Crisis Center, but we don't turn away anyone. We have other districts, other counties that need assistance, and we recognize that. And we're very fortunate. Right now, our grants allow us to do services in other areas, and we're very fortunate and very thankful for that. I'd like to leave with you some of our literature, and if you have anyone, what I like to tell individuals, domestic violence and sexual assault might not be happening around you or to you, but please take our literature because we all know someone that has experienced domestic violence in our community. So I'd like to leave with you some literature, and please give me a call, give the staff a call if you're ever in need. We will have, this year, we're changing up. Rather than having our dedication ceremony on our campus, in our area, we've decided that we'd like to take our vigil to the community, to the different towns. So we will be in CREEDMOOR, in our Southern States parking lot on Wednesday, and I ask that you join us. If you have any information that you'd like or that you want more information about, we will be in the Southern States parking lot doing with outreach during the hours of between 4:30 and 5. We will be in other towns each Wednesday throughout the month of October because we know that is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So please wear your purple and join me in awareness and educating our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Does anyone have any questions for?
No questions.
Mr. Wilkins.
Thank you for the important work you do for our community.
Thank you so much. We couldn't do it without individuals like yourself. So thank you for your support.
Thank you, ma'am. We appreciate it. All right, let's see. Yeah, that'll be fine. We'll make sure it gets set out there.
Thank you.
Let's see, that was 6A. 6B, proclamation for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And I'm going to ask the Mayor Pro Tem to join me out here, please.
Barbara, you have an extra pen? Thank you.
All right. This is a proclamation for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Whereas October is National Breast Cancer Awareness Month, which is an annual campaign to increase awareness of this disease, and while we have seen an increase in mammography rates and a decline in deaths, there is more we can do. And whereas throughout the month of October, all women are encouraged to make a renewed commitment to following recommended screening guidelines, make a mammogram appointment, and whereas Breast Cancer Awareness Month can mean different things to different people, it goes far beyond wearing pink ribbons. It's a chance to show our support to those whose lives have been forever changed by this disease. And whereas in 2024, approximately 310,720 women and 2,800 men will be diagnosed with invasive breast cancer. And whereas at this time, there are more than 4 million breast cancer survivors in the United States. And whereas during Breast Cancer Awareness Month, the City of CREEDMOOR stands in solidarity with the mothers, sisters, daughters, friends, neighbors, and others who are battling this disease, as well as all who have joined their loved ones in fighting their battles. And resolved, I, Robert Wheeler, Mayor of the City of CREEDMOOR, do hereby proclaim the month of October 2024 as Breast Cancer Awareness Month in the City of CREEDMOOR. And I have asked the Mayor Pro Tem to join me up here so that I may present this proclamation to you and to all those that are involved. Thank you. we move to 6C, proclamation or Fire Prevention Week. Commissioner Way.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We will get the proclamation printed out so that way you can sign it and do the wonderful thing you just did. But however, I would like to let everyone know that in October, we do have Fire Prevention Week every year. This year, it started on Sunday, October the 6th, and goes through October the 12th. NFPA.org is the website we encourage people to go through. There's a lot of material on there dealing with fire safety. You can print off some pages and coloring activities for your kids. It's great. The big thing that we try to push is making sure that your smoke alarms make them work for you. That's the campaign this year. Install, test, and replace when needed. Smoke alarms, just because you have them in your home doesn't mean they're there forever and they're always going to work. Make sure that you test your smoke alarm, it's functioning properly, the batteries are replaced, and if all else, replace your smoke alarm as needed. I'm going to just piggyback off of this real quick since I do have the floor. First responders in general in North Carolina have taken a real toll in the last week and a half as far as response, not only to the first responders in the mountain region of North Carolina, but however, as far as all over the state of North Carolina and other states for deployment to help out west. We in the city of Creedmoor, as far as the fire department, have sent personnel out west to provide fire and rescue support services to those departments that are severely taxed. And we also had members of our department that had heavy equipment as another job go that way with their earth moving devices to help push stuff out of the way and fix roadways. But I would like to let everyone know, just because it might not be out there on social media, that representatives for the city of Creedmoor and the volunteer fire department and other organizations are getting the supplies and getting them to the locations and people that are going out west. So we appreciate your support and we thank you for everything that you do for us. And remember, it's always neighbors helping neighbors.
Thank you, Commissioner Way. Let's see, skip request to address the board. Public comment. Do I have anybody? Okay. Yeah, I'll do this one. Is there anybody out there that would like to address the board? Not seeing any. We'll move on to new business. 10A, possible roadway improvement projects. Mr. Barkley.
Is this thing gonna work for me today?
I don't know.
Probably not.
Hang on one second. Okay. Try again.
How you turn on? Oh, wow.
You're an engineer, my friend. There you go.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the board. I'm Carl Barkley, your city engineer. And tonight I'm here to talk to you about some roadway improvements at two different locations. And the purpose tonight is to update the board on two locations that were studied and then request direction on how staff shall proceed. So close to a year ago, we contracted with Wooten to study these two locations, and they provided us with an opinion of probable construction costs for the two locations. So location one was Holly Creek Lane. It's located just south of the Holly Creek Apartments off of Main Street. There's two houses located on there, one on the left at the corner of Main and Holly Creek. One, you can't really see it, but it's in the middle of the picture. And there's two SCMs that we inspect periodically, one in the middle above the road, and then on the right-hand side of the picture above the road. So the proposal includes paving that entire gravel road, but it requires an awful lot of preparatory work. Excavating unsuitable material, bringing in new embankment material, 8 inches of stone, and then the asphalt, and of course some drainage improvements. When we received the estimated construction cost of $270,000 to pave a dead-end road, immediate reaction was probably not worth it. Well, we didn't have to think about it too long because the situation changed drastically out there. We had identified this for study.
Can you
back that up and blow it up just a hair, Miss Barbara, please.
Wait, which one?
The one with the
Start
chart.
with the numbers.
There, that one, yeah. Mhm.
What's in the book? What's in the book?
Yeah, you would.
Okay, I can't see that either.
I was hoping I'd wait to see.
That's a little better. A little bit more.
No, because when I'm clicking, it's moving.
Right click onto it? Guess not.
No, it's not.
All right.
Will not let me.
What's the number in the orange box called? Make
It
it,
is $273,687.50.
well, look at you.
That's why I rounded up and I put it in red, the 275.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I did see that, but I wasn't sure if that was the same.
Yeah, I rounded up, it's an estimate.
Okay.
Anyway, our initial reaction was, it's probably not worth it. Well, the situation changed, so we didn't have to think about it too hard. So originally, we were looking at this narrow gravel road, some drainage issues. We'd like to have it paved so we can access, two SDMs for inspection. But then, its current need is to repair or otherwise address a road washout. We went out there recently, and where you see the red arrow, that's the approximate location of the washout. There's two, drainage pipes that go underneath the road at that location that carry the stream that's above. It carries it underneath the road, and it looked like this the first time we went out there. Since then, more has sloughed off. And if you notice the branch that's lying on the road in the next picture, you can sort of use that as a reference point. So here we are looking at it from the side, you see the branch at the top of the picture, maybe 4 or 5 feet deep. Let's see. So like I said, it's directly over the two pipes. And the day we went out there was after a day of rain, and on the right-hand side of the picture, you see this pretty heavy flows coming down the bank. But there's no water coming through either pipe. We went to the other side of the road, and the stream is pretty full, and water's coming down both sides, and it's not getting backed up. It's going somewhere, but not through the pipes. Next picture, I'm going to zoom in on the right-hand pipe. Next picture, I'm zooming in on the right-hand pipe.
The clicker works.
And if you notice, water's coming out of the ground next to the pipe. About 20 feet downstream, a lot more than that is just shooting out from underneath the bank. So water is getting underneath the road, but it's not going through the pipes.
The pipe's clogged?
That's not, I don't think the pipes are clogged. I think there's something else going on. I don't think that this is the cause of the road washout, because there's, some separation between the two. But I do think it's a sign of a potentially larger issue, like the whole road washing out, because obviously it's creating an open space next to the pipe underneath there. Now, if you look at that pipe, there's a little crack on the end, there's a brown material on top of that pipe. That brown is a tree root. 2 large trees are over those 2 pipes, and they are just completely wrapped around the pipes.
Wow.
Very unusual looking situation. One tree is leaning a little bit, the other one is leaning quite a bit more. So our hunch is that the tree is leaning a lot, that when it started to lean, it pulled on the root system, and that sort of destabilized the soil. Then the heavy rain came, and the combined effect created that soil to wash out. Not a guarantee that's what happened, but that's sort of what it looks like happened there. So the question is, direction from the board, how shall we proceed? The first thing that comes to mind is, replace in kind, the same thing back in. Another drastic option at the other end of the spectrum is close the road and abandon the right-of-way. And there may be other options in between those two. The staff recommends that we revise the scope. Instead of looking to, pave that road, let's look at repairing that road, or repairing that section of the road. Identify some options, look at the probable cost for those options, pros and cons, because there's always, negative effects to every option that you take. And then we'll evaluate those and come back and present those options with our recommendation to the board. So that's our recommendation. And are there any questions about Holly Street Lane that I can answer for?
Commissioner Wilkins, any questions?
No, I just agree with the engineer just said we should do that. Evaluate it and come back.
Commissioner Albright.
I guess the only thing comment I had is that the sinkhole or whatever it is opened up, it's after the 2 houses. Is that correct?
That's correct, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's all I had.
Mayor Pro Tem.
So this is not a useful road, am I correct? We don't use this road,
We use it,
it's a closed road, basically.
it doesn't have a whole lot of traffic being a dead-end road, but we do use it occasionally to check, to inspect the SCM for the apartment.
The city does.
The city does, and that's pretty much the only legitimate use that I know for that road.
I say close the road. That's my opinion.
Commissioner Gleason.
We have to get back there to check on those ponds, somebody does.
Yes, sir.
So we have to have some kind of a right-of-way there that can be used by at least the city.
There'll be another way to get it.
There is, or there would be?
There could be, the inspector could walk from the parking lot. This is a vehicular access to that segment.
Commissioner Way.
What's the environmental impact from the road washout and the current situation with the pipes for the water flow?
So, right now, water's finding another path under the road. If we do nothing, the do-nothing option, eventually, those trees are gonna fall over, and because they're grabbing hold of the end of the pipes, they're gonna get torn out. I think water is probably not gonna stack up on the inlet side. It's gonna find a way to push through, but it's gonna take a lot of soil with it, a lot of sediment's gonna be pushed downstream, and it could go suddenly and create a very ugly mess, and we're responsible for maintaining the public right of way. So I don't think it's a good look for the city to just walk away from an impending, a bigger mess.
I agree.
Going out, removing the trees now so that doesn't happen suddenly, could be like a baby step, but still, the water under the road is something that's gonna happen. But I'd like to see all of the options, closing the road, replacing time, what other options, replacing over here. I mean, there could be, some reasonable things we're not even thinking of at this point.
Well, my opinion would be to get rid of the trees and explore how much it would be to, those are, looks to be concrete
Yes, sir.
pipes, I'm assuming, that were probably put back way forever and ago, would be to replace it with a large diameter, single pipe, I would assume. And then go back and fill in and then gravel. I definitely wouldn't see paving the road. I think if we paved the road, that would just open us up for more people just to go down there and dump trash and that kind of stuff.
I think the scope would be changing from paving it to fixing this problem, and there could be multiple options for fixing it, but yeah, I think paving is out of the equation at this point.
Commissioner Gleason.
And Mike, maybe you can answer this. When they were originally building Holly Creek Apartments, somewhere in the back of my mind, I had that road or whatever was used to get the backside of the apartments, and was gonna be an emergency exit and entrance that was not gonna be open to the public, but it was gonna be designed so that fire apparatus could drive over it.
If you go back to the aerial, Barbara, there is a vehicular way to get to both of those SCMs. There's gravel. You can see there are two gravel parking places, but the location is, in our opinion, not useful even for emergency services, because the building is just so far away from where that parking area is. If we were to abandon the right-of-way, I think it'd be up to our inspector to get at it on foot, potentially, easy, or from the eastern side, which is another option that we would want to potentially explore. It was potentially there as a need, but I think the way it ended up being built proves that it's not valuable for emergency services.
I think you've heard several things here. My general understanding would probably be, I kind of like, I guess it was Commissioner Way's, I don't think we need to pave it, but I do think we need to repair it. If we don't, we're going to run into the same issues that we've run into other places that we've put off and then had a big mess later on that cost a ton of money to fix. I think if we go ahead and do a repair, something that'll hold a truck to go over, it doesn't have to be a big pipe or whatever, but something that we can put in the ground, take the trees out, replace the pipes, and that a vehicle could ride over. But as far as paving, I don't see any need to do that. So I guess if it's okay with the board, we recommend looking at options along that way. Absolutely. Just letting us see how much it would cost, what we would need to do, and then we can make a final decision after that.
Certainly can't hurt.
Mayor Pro Tem.
So if we decide to do that, we're gonna need another estimate from somebody,
Yes,
not just Wooten.
we've been discussing advertising another on-call, firm that would specialize in transportation, which covers a wide range of things from roadway to storm drainage, traffic studies, and that way we can have a firm who's, has a lot more experience with roadway work and drainage work, give us an estimate on this, options and estimates.
So in the meantime, while we're waiting for all that, can we please, I like Robert's idea, let's get rid of the trees. Let's get those trees down before they do any more damage to the pipe. I mean, there's a chance if we take the tree down, we could fill in around the pipe and maybe redirect that water through the pipe. If it's not clogged, can we redirect the water to go through the pipe again?
If it's not clogged, I don't know why the water's choosing to go around it. At this point, I haven't gone down there when it was dry enough to see what was happening. But I do agree, taking the trees out now, that would prevent the catastrophic change if something quickly happens.
Yeah.
It will take a while, obviously, to put an advertisement out, get another opinion of what it would cost, and to move forward.
Okay.
But we currently have the road closed off before the washout, so, no one should be driving back there. So there's no reason to have it turn into an uglier mess with the trees ripping up pipes.
Right, exactly.
Commissioner Way.
Mr. City Manager, is that something our public works staff can do, or we contract that type of stuff out?
The pipe work,
The tree work.
the tree work.
I would recommend some professional tree service do that because of the complexity of the situation. If the ground's not stable, I mean, if Steve wants to look at it and give his opinion, that's fine, but my gut feel is it'd be better off having a professional do that.
That's all I need to hear.
And I know a tree service that will come in and take it down for the wood. So we'll reach out to them and get their cost, yeah. It's even better.
Thank you.
But this project was not part of our budget, correct?
No, this is just something that happened a couple of weeks ago.
I think this, I'm sorry.
Commissioner Way.
I think if this project would probably come out of Power Bill funds because it's a roadway, correct? And, yeah.
I'll go eligible, potentially stormwater fee.
So it wouldn't we wouldn't have to pull any money out of general fund.
All right.
Moving right along now. There is location number 2 is Douglas Drive. So, Douglas Drive, the reason we studied this was the paving condition is poor, a lot of cracking out there. The parking areas on the south side are not delineated. There's the veterinary practice and the business next to that one, the back entrance to 109 Park, which will have people in it soon, and then there's an undeveloped lot next to that. So right now, people can pull in and pull out, there's no guiding, no directing them, and you really can't tell where the road ends and the parking lot begins. And there's worn pavement markings out there also, crosswalks, stop bars. So the main emphasis for this project being studied, for this location being studied, was the anticipated increase in traffic due to the Holly Middle School. The thought was people would turn right coming out of the school, go to the traffic signal, make a left, and then loop through Douglas to go back. That was what we anticipated. So we looked at it, and their proposal included repaving the entire length of Douglas Drive. And the 3 green areas, you see those are park strips. So there'd be new curb and gutter where those are. The 3 black sections between the 4 green sections, those are the driveway aprons going into the 3 parcels, the undeveloped one, Park, 109 Park, and then the veterinary practice. And you can see there's a stop bar either in painted, a crosswalk. We'll probably add, there's 3 crosswalks that are pretty much erased going into the CVS, and a couple of drainage pipes were proposed to improve the drainage through that area. So that's the work that they were estimating, and they estimated the probable construction cost for that would be
$196,875.
$20% of construction. Oh, sorry.
And there's
That's with a 25% contingency fee.
Back up one more, please. And so, 197 construction costs, and the yellow was things they excluded. The design costs, construction administration, geotechnical engineering, testing. So if you estimate 20% for those things, that's another 40,000. So adding and then rounding up gives you a total estimated cost of $250,000 for Douglas Drive. So the question for the board is, does the cost-benefit ratio justify it? Like I said, they're gonna repave the road, gonna add curb and gutter to the south side. That curb and gutter will also line up with the entrance to the, community center. There's new curb and gutter between the community center and, 56. So this would line up with the other side, make the entrance a little more, approachable. It would delineate the driveways on the south side so you can channel the ingress and egress traffic going to the businesses. And it would replace or actually add some pavement markings so it's a little bit safer. The sidewalk along CVS, that's part of the cross-city trail. So we're, we're directing foot traffic to travel there. So replacing those pavement markings, crosswalks makes sense. And then there's some storm drainage improvements. But the question was raised, did traffic increase because of Holly Middle School as anticipated? Well, we got word that some folks, they're just going to visit Dennis instead. They're pulling into the community center parking lot, going around there, and even after you put up some pain points with the one-way traffic and curb stops, they're still going and doing the loop in there and going out. And I think the most telling sign is we haven't received any complaints about, oh my God, Douglas Drive is a wreck and we're forced to drive through there. So the question for the board is, there is certainly some advantages to doing it, some things that would be improved there, but is it worth the cost?
Mayor.
Any questions about Douglas Drive I can answer for you?
Commissioner Wilkins.
Holly School Road traffic, I think it is gonna increase, because I understand the Board of Education is gonna close, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, Button-STEM Middle School, and most of those students are gonna go to Hawley. That's what I heard today. Mike?
What I heard was June of 26 is they're closing Holly. That's from the school board member that mentioned it to me.
They're closing Hawley?
Closing, yes, sir.
That's the reverse of what I heard today.
So that would eliminate a lot of that traffic up through there.
Right, but I agree that Douglas really needs a lot of
It
attention.
does.
Right.
Where are we at the, 109 Park property? Where is he as far as actually needing the extra parking space?
Mr. Frangos or Mike?
For a long time. We've been working with them on the I remember that. Certificate of zoning compliance. We've gone out, we've looked at the landscaping they put in, we've checked the drainage, they put in the seating, and there's some issues out there that still have to be resolved. Is ponding water on the property, but I would think relatively minor items, but still, they must be corrected before they get final approval. Have they given us a time frame on when they think they'll be done? But I would think sooner rather than later. They're not big items.
Well, I'll save my comment for the end. Commissioner Way.
I'm for it. I think we should move forward with it. The foot traffic in that area is, need to make it just safe as far as when we do hold events and special events at the community center. Plus it'll help making sure people don't park everywhere they're parking now with no curb and gutter and situations like that.
Mr. Albright.
So I have two questions. One, where would the money come from for this project? And the second one, are we paving the vet's parking lot as well?
No, all the work that's proposed
It's
is in the public
just
right of way.
Douglas Drive.
Right, what's in the public right of way. And that's basically, we're stopping at the right of way line there with the driveway aprons.
Yeah.
As far as the money, that is a Powellville road, that fund all of it.
Commissioner Gleason.
I agree. I think we should move forward with it. Would this also entitle Powell money and to be used and?
Yeah.
They have to look put in for the Powell bill and the two projects that been submitted so far, both are have language to the price for the project cost. So I think, just my opinion, to focus more on one, and evaluate the technical, pick a priority. And then this one, you say, well, $250,000. We have power bill funds to cover both, but we don't want to put ourselves in a predicament where we spend all of power bill money. Because right now, we currently got $165,000 of, fund balance for power bill that was in CIP that outside of these two projects that want to take away from that fund balance. So just wanted to put that in the,
Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Wilkins,
Nothing at this time.
Mayor Pro Tem.
I'm glad you asked about paving. In this overhead drawing, it looks like we're paving the parking lot for the vet and the daycare and everybody under the sun, but we're not.
We put it on there as an optional item, we didn't ask for it as an optional thing, we left that out, we're not even considering it. That's why I just showed that on the picture.
Well, I know that Davis Drive does need some work because I've complained about the pothole at the corner of Douglas of Maine several times, but is that sidewalk going along CVS?
There already is,
There is one.
That's part of the walking trail.
Okay, so I'm okay with this project, but I would like to see other bids. I don't wanna just go with Wooten. I'd like to see a bid from another company to see if we could do it any.
So the plan would be to advertise for an on-call engineering firm for transportation projects.
Okay.
They would investigate the options for Holly Creek and probable cost for those options. Then if we're gonna proceed on this one, they can give us another estimate of what they think it would cost to have it done. But once they actually start doing the design, they do the geotech work, they'll know, oh, the soil is good, or the soil is bad, how much has to be taken out. Wooten was estimating that they would just mill down an inch and then replace an inch of asphalt. It's been driven over for decades, so I'd be surprised if the soil was insufficient underneath. It's been tested for a long time. But certainly we could get another, gut check, if you will, from the new firm.
So Carl, the green sections, is that the entrance or is that the curb?
The green is the park strip, that's grass.
That's
So they're dark.
because that first piece of land right behind PNC is still PNC's land, right?
No, there's a vacant parcel that's just like a grassy field, then 109 Park, and then the veterinary practice.
So where the black sections are, that's where the entrances would be to the driveway, yeah, okay, all right. Yeah, I'm in favor of it, but I just want to see if we can get another estimate.
Commissioner Albright.
Never mind. Having a break. You need to wait too long, I forgot what I said.
Is there
Okay, got it now.
okay,
So if we do the Holly Lane, then you're gonna need money for, the inspections and all that kind of stuff. So that's gonna be a lot of money, and then you're gonna come over to the Douglas Drive part and do all that as well. So I would prefer just to pick the Douglas Drive one and then take the trees out of the other one for the moment. Would be my
options?
If I was asked for my priority, I would say Douglas Drive has not changed in a while, where the Holly Creek, even though it doesn't get much use, something is going to change very quickly. Taking the trees out, that helps eliminate one wild card. It's impassable, and there could be, the remaining soil could just be washed out one day and go downstream, and that's not really good stewardship to let all that siltation go in the stream. So I think if I had to pick one to do first, investigating that one, seeing what the estimates are when they come in, and if they come in, not that expensive, maybe we can proceed with Douglas Drive and do construction on both at the same time. But if the estimate comes in relatively high for Holly Creek, maybe that one gets done first and Douglas gets pushed off for a period of time.
You feel that Holly Creek is a priority?
Simply because it could change quickly. That's the reason. If it was a static situation, I wouldn't be as concerned about it. But we didn't see this washout coming, and we saw a little fissure in the ground. We came back later, and that section had gone off. So I haven't been out this week, and it may look worse now than it did last time I saw it.
Quick question. Quick question. If the, and Mike, you can answer this question. If the vet was interested while they were out there paving, Douglas Drive, of getting him to pave her parking lot at the same time, is that a partnership we could work out with her?
I would need a plan ultimately for how her parking lot was going to be built, but I think partnering at the time of construction is possible. They would contribute, of course, to pave their section, but gaining the economy of scale in that our contractor would already be on the site.
Yeah, I mean, if it was me, that's what I'd want to do, but.
But we want to see a plan first.
Oh, yes, yeah, I'll reach out to her tomorrow.
Yeah.
As far as this other goes, I can see taking the trees, like we talked about earlier, taking the trees out, digging the section out, putting the pipe in. No paving should save us some money on that aspect of it. But again, with 109 hopefully opening soon, the traffic coming in through the community center, I think we need to go ahead and get that road taken care of too. So I guess what I'm saying is, for the details on both issues, and then we can decide which way we want to go from there.
It will certainly take a while to get a firm on board. I mean, 3 months at a minimum. And then if they're designing that while they're working on options for Holly Creek, you don't have to pull the trigger to construct Douglas Drive just because you have the design in hand. It would be a while before we had to actually make that decision. Are we going to proceed with construction or hold it for a fiscal year? So
we're looking after the first of the year, Mr. Mayor.
So nothing will happen quickly, and certainly not without.
Yeah, pretty close.
You know that.
And then you got to take the weather into account too. Mayor Pro Tem.
So, if we're gonna do the parking lot on Main Street, which requires paving, this requires paving.
Douglas Drive, yeah.
Yeah, Douglas Drive needs paving. If we could tie them time-wise together, maybe we could, get them both done and at a better deal. But we need a design on the parking lot also as well as this one. So that's what I'm saying. If we could just kind of keep all that tied in at the same time, maybe we could.
I did some investigating on the parking lot, and there's several firms that I found, parking lot firms, and they have in-house design staff.
You are the
So
best.
one-stop shopping. So, because I was concerned we have to do the design first and then advertise construction, but it's not surprising. It's a lot easier than that. They come out, they evaluate it, they do a design, you agree to the design, then they go build it, and you're done.
Thank you.
But I think it's likely different qualifications for a parking lot versus actual roadway.
All right, thank you very much. All right, Mr. Faines, I believe we are at you now, budget amendment number 3.
Good evening, Mayor, Board. Tonight I bring before you the third budget amendment of the year. 3 items listed in this budget amendment. One coming from the direction at the last meeting, instructing the city manager and staff to take a look at purchasing holiday banners to align the city streets. So we have an appropriation of $2,800 for those banners, coming from general fund balance. Also in this amendment is a mini grant received from Granville County Parks, Greenways, and Recreation Committee for $15,124 to install swings and picnic tables at Lake Rogers. The second grant is from the Granville County TDA for $16,813 to install a water fountain at Lake Rogers as well. So those are the 3 items included in this budget amendment.
Commissioner Gleason, any questions? No, sir. Mr. Way? No, sir. Mr. Wilkins?
No, sir.
Mr. Albright?
No, I don't have any questions. I just want us to make sure on page 69 that we are aware that we have almost spent $1 million.
And over.
Over $1 million on amendments. So we didn't wanna do, but.
Mayor Pro Tem.
So, when I first found out about the water fountain at Lake Rogers, I was not really thrilled about it because I didn't think that there'd been any kind of thought put into it. Chris used to always come to us with ideas of what he wanted to do and then tell us he could possibly get a grant for things. So, for, the recreation director, applied for the grants and thank goodness that he did, and put a water fountain at Lake Rogers. I felt that we needed more stuff, but the playground behind the community center money's already been put away for the design for that in our budget that we just approved. And it would look lovely to have a water fountain at Lake Rogers. I don't want to turn grant money away for something that will be an improvement to the city and possibly make it better. I, off the top of my head, can't come up with any other thing to say, oh, well, we shouldn't have got a water fountain, we should get something else. But this $16,813, Mr. City Manager, if I'm not mistaken, that is just for the water fountain. There's a little more work that has to be done, like wiring and electric might be another $1,800 to add to this, but it's in budgets already. So it's not gonna be an amendment, correct?
Yes, ma'am. And this item can come back to the board. This is just to identify and recognize those funds coming into the city. But this item can come back once the final selection on the pump size and sprayer and all that, so you'll have more information.
From what I'm looking at with this fountain, that I met with you earlier, this fountain is gonna have lights on it, and it's gonna be really pretty, and hopefully our police department won't have a lot of work down there while people are driving along looking at the fountain instead of watching the road. But yeah, it will be a site for a tourist attraction. So now that I know that it's free money, it's coming to us. I'm glad about the swings and the picnic tables. I hope there's another one of those handicap swings or the mommy and me swing is part of it. You don't know? Do you know? Which, the swing that's in the first grant is another one of those mommy and me swings?
I am assuming that, and 9 tables, picnic tables, and some ADA tables, so another 2 ADA tables, not for a total of 11 tables.
So what will we do with the old tables that are down there?
They're kind of mismatched. We're gonna take them out, so they all look uniform and look nice.
And what will we surplus them?
Surplus them? Yes, ma'am. We can surplus them and see if anybody on Gov Deal wants them.
Okay.
Like we're doing the old Christmas wreath.
Yeah. Okay, all right.
Well, I think the fountain will be a great addition. That way, when people are down there admiring our really, really expensive lawn at the lake,
The most expensive lawn in CREEDMOOR,
that it'll just accent that. Have we?
What are you chasing back there?
Have we had any flooding in that lot? But you remember that was one of those issues when I was suggesting we put a gazebo or a stage or something in. Well, no, it's gonna flood all those
It
times.
does exist in the floodplain, but we've been lucky enough not.
I think our city manager and maintenance department and everybody letting water out of the lake in anticipation of the heavy rain, it saved us from all that, but, you know, anything goes on there, I got to point out our most expensive lawn. Yeah, that's what we could do. We could put a splash pad in there.
Robert,
Well, you know, we got
use your splash.
$17,000 to put a fountain in the middle of the lake that people can look at it, but we can't get $17,000 to have kids run through a water splash pad area, so.
What'd I just say?
Another grant,
I was right there with you, bro.
You know,
another grant. Mayor, city manager.
I do have one other thing I'd like to add. When Dennis wrote this up, he went out and priced one of these pumps, what they, the sprayer and fountain and all.
I'm feeling there's a shoe getting ready to drop.
Well, The fountain will be located between the dam and the boardwalk where the gazebo's at.
Okay.
So the question came up, how high will this thing be spraying up in the air? What will it look like? What kind of diameter will it, and there's lots of different spray heads. That's the kind of things we need to finalize now. There may be, and probably will be a little more cost to this than just what this grant money, because this 2 horsepower pump is throwing water 3.5 feet in the air. To me, that's not a lot. 4.5 feet wide. So if we look at a 3 horsepower, it's like 2,000 more. So there's things we've got to do. That's why I say it's coming back to the board for a final decision. I think we want something more than 3.5 feet in the air.
Can we make it look like the Bellagio with some music and?
So.
But if we take the 16,000 and then you come back to us with, it's gonna cost us a lot more money, what are we gonna do then?
Well, 2,000 more would get us a 3.5, but what I'm after is for the look. If it does, I don't want it to look, I don't want it to look small, okay? The roadways.
Oh, wait a minute, is that a fountain?
The roadway is higher than the top of the dam and the spillway. You can be overlooking it, but I want it something that's really gonna be pretty, you know? I'm thinking 5 or 6 or something up there.
Yeah.
And it's lit, but there's more work to be done to this. This is just identifying the free money coming in from the county.
Well, I just don't want it to be so big that you can't fish on our walkway out there.
I don't think we're gonna have that problem.
Lee, if we accept this money and then,
A budget amendment would not be needed for the additional funds for this fountain. Me and Dennis had already discussed it, what the city manager has stated. We have already located where some funds would be available. The area being where the Christmas tree came under.
So you can move money.
Budgeted for. So that's free money that's in there that can be allocated towards this additional, funds that's needed.
is that another budget amendment? Oh, no.
No.
Okay, that's good.
So, if I may continue, So if we go with a 3.5, it's another 2,000 we know. The cost he's talking about is the labor to install it. 500 foot of cable comes with this fountain, but we've got to have an licensed electrician come out and put a breaker in, and make the connections, and do the trenching in the ground from the lake to the concession stand. But if we have to add another 2,000+ to this to get a higher sprinkler, I want to confirm all of that.
Yeah.
And bring it back to you guys before we do anything. Tonight, I just want to recognize the money coming in on the grant.
Gotcha. That'll give each of us a chance to go out there and kind of visualize what we're talking about. Mr. Albright, did you have?
Yeah, does it have to be a fountain? Or could we use the money for something else?
It was written and proposed as a fountain for the lake, so that's what they approved. It would have to be used as a fountain or money turned back into, is either the TDA or part, I think it's TDA.
Yeah.
Kind of like our dog park was.
Yeah, we have to report back to them at the end of the fiscal year of expenditures where we.
And if you don't use it for that, then they want it back.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right, any other questions? Not seeing any, motion to approve the budget amendment? Mayor Pro Tem has made the motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries 5-0. Okay, that was a budget amendment. All right, we move down to 10C, additional holiday banners for city streets. Mr. Turner.
Mr. Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem and Commissioners, at the September 16th board meeting, the board asked me to investigate the cost of purchasing enough 30 by 60-inch holiday banners for city subdivision entrances and main thoroughfares around town. A review committee consisting of the executive assistant, public works director, clerk to the board, and the city manager reviewed many options in the Mosca Design product catalog of holiday banners. The final recommendation came down to a mix of 2. So we need 30 banners. The selection committee recommended a mix of 2 different banners, 15 classical vinyl, 15 premium vinyl. There's pictures in the package here for you to take a peep at the 2 that were picked out. One type banner, which is a little bit thicker, is the $100 value. The 22 ounce is $85.40. The grand total is $27.81. That's what the finance director recommended, $2,800 for the budget amendment. And if the board concurs with the recommendation, a motion to approve the purchase of 30 banners not to exceed $2,800 would be in order.
That's what you had.
Yes, sir.
All right, Commissioner Wilkins, we'll start with you. Any questions?
I'd like to make a motion to approve. I have nothing else.
I will make a note of that. Commissioner Albright.
Yeah, I like them both. I think they're nice.
Beautiful.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Oh, they're beautiful.
Commissioner Gleason.
Yep.
Commissioner Way.
Are these in addition to ones we already have to add to the locations that we requested? Or are these as replacement?
These are banners for areas that we do not currently have banners. And Steve was good enough to give me, in case that question came up, a listing of all of the city banners, and what you'll see on the first page,
Don't see anything yet.
this way. What you see on the first page, on the top of the first page, is the Main Street banners numbering 1 through 32, from CVS to Whitehall. The next 30, and it starts at 30, I don't know why he ran it this way, but anyway, it goes from 30 back down to 1. If you look at that list and the list on the back, it's just numbered 1 through 30. It covers some of the same banner locations, but it's an add-on for the ones that we don't have now, which covers those Williamsburg all the way down through Devon, Pecan Hill, Pine Valley, places we do not have banners right now. So it's expanding the program to cover other areas of the city. And that's where the 30 banners are being planned.
But they'll go up individual, in other words, there won't be any more lights or other banners?
No, sir, it's just a bracket and a banner. Right.
Okay. We're starting to accumulate banners, and I'm afraid we're gonna get them, so you won't see half of them because we got the other half of them.
So we got city banners, hero banners, flower banners we recently purchased, and now the holiday banners and city banners that's going at these other locations.
They're flags.
Okay, that's.
And the US flags, of course.
I don't know what I want.
Anyway, that's what, breaks down the 2,800 that Mr. Faines asked for.
Mr. Gleason.
I'm good with that.
Mr. Way. Mayor Pro Tem.
We have one for Pecan Hill, it's at Harris Park. And I don't see Harris Park on this list, but I know we have one, because I saw it when we were
Yeah,
there.
you're right, Judge.
But you know what? We're gonna have Brains Crossing coming online soon, so if we have one or two. My concern is that, and I think that it's been discussed before, our Public Works Department we're gonna need a whole new staff for just putting up and taking down banners if we don't slow down on them. We've got so many and we've got so many diverse ones that they're gonna have to put them up and take them down. What'd you say?
He's got it under control.
That's just, Steve, God bless his heart, he does everything he can for the city of Creedmoor, like the other employees do, but I don't want him to spread himself so thin that he can't keep up.
Commissioner Albright, any questions?
Yes, sir.
All right, Commissioner Wilkins, if you don't have any questions, if you'll make your motion, please.
Motion to approve the 30 new holiday banners at a cost not to exceed $2,800.
We have a motion by Commissioner Wilkins. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries 5-0. Okay. City Manager's report.
Mr. Mayor, members of the board, the items I've got listed to report on this evening, K-9 Deck's cremated ashes were presented to his partner, Officer Stacy DeSantis, as a sentimental gesture of their time together. On October the 1st, 2024, a civil penalty reduction of $300 was made on 204 Mill Street. You may recall that y'all gave me permission authorization for reductions or waivers, or even setting up payment plans within dollar financial boundaries. This is one that I said I would bring back to let you know when we made those waivers and reductions, so that's what this is. The remaining balance on this one has been paid in full. Finance Director Lee Faines and I met with Davenport Financial Services for a second review of their presentations on the city financial position. Davenport will be here at the next board meeting to present that recommendation to the board to show you how well our financial status looks. We're currently advertising for a Parks and Rec director, and I have appointed the event coordinator, interim director, Angie Perry, to hold this position until the position is filled and a transition occurs. And thank you, Angie, for your willingness to do that, again, for the third time, I think it is.
You know, if you just go ahead and take the job.
Yeah. Number 5, BC3 executive summary for the month of September reported 51 work orders open and 48 were closed. Item number 6, at your October 21 board work session, Butner Town Manager Jordan McMillan will be presenting an item for discussion regarding the line of annexation between the town of Butner and the city of CREEDMOOR. They currently have a developer that owns property in the town of Butner, and they want to expand over into the county limits, into the county boundary jurisdiction. But anytime they leave that line and come towards us, they're required to bring this item to us for a request, because we were here first, before Butner was incorporated. That's why. So anyway, Jordan will be here to explain that.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Wilson.
We have the right to refuse, is that correct?
Yes, sir, apparently. Yeah, Mike said, yeah. You know, we've got from 56, we've got an alley of county property located between both entities.
Where?
What the thought is to bring that line together. Whether we split the difference, or the city goes to Butner, or Butner comes to the city, CREEDMOOR, or split the difference. They will never have to come back to us to ask permission to do this if that line, that alleyway is closed. The county's gonna get their tax money anyway, because it's either gonna be in and out, they still get it. It's a matter of closing that gap, is that correct, Mike? Yeah. So Jordan's gonna be here, he's probably gonna have the developer with him to tell you what he'd like to do. They're required to bring it to us. So if you have, something will certainly be in the agenda package, he's got a presentation he's worked on. But I wanted to give you guys a heads up on that.
Thank you.
Also, at your October work session, we have the shared grant writer, Mr. Jamie Oxendine, who will be giving the board their first quarterly report. That's July, August, and September. You'll know how much grant money has been made, how much he's asked for, what we've gotten out of CREEDMOOR, what he's gotten for CREEDMOOR, how much we've paid in each quarter. So Jamie will be here to give you guys an update, because I can envision there'll be some questions which I could not answer for him, so I've asked him to come and speak to the board that evening as well. Subject to your comments, that concludes my remarks.
Anyone have any comments or questions for the city manager? All right, we move along. Before we go to the commissioner's report, Chief Wheelis, as much as I'm on that road at the funeral home, between the dump trucks coming through there, flatbeds with road grading equipment on the back, I know we're exceeding the weight limit on that road. And I've also noticed down Crescent, there's some areas when I'm walking the dog that you can tell where heavy trucks have been there over the many, many years and have mashed that road in. And I don't want to see that happen on 50 as it goes through there. So if you just have them park out there and start writing me some citations, I'd appreciate it. Yeah, not me personally, but, all right. Sigwasa report.
Mr. Mayor, before we get to that, can I ask Mr. Frangos a question?
You sure can. Mr. Way.
Mr. Frangos, on your report that you submitted, our signage that we're waiting on, is that the 10 to 12 weeks, when is that from?
We just got the approval for the encroachment, thinking it was maybe a week or two ago. So we are certainly into January before those would be ready.
I saw the 109 Park Avenue. What I wanted to also hit on was, the Zinc House?
Yeah, Zinc House Brewery?
Yeah. So are they planning to submit plans to make that into a brewery location at the corner there?
So our ordinance requires first a special use permit approval, which would address the zoning concerns of the site. And then part of that zoning approval, if the board saw fit to grant the special use permit, would be then to follow that up with a site plan that talks about the improvements that they were gonna make and other changes to the site. But we wanted to be sure that the board was comfortable with the brewery use at that location before they invested fully in a site plan and design. So zoning first, then come the physical site plan issues.
But that's their plan.
That's their plan. And they do intend on holding a application neighborhood meeting, as is required by our ordinance, because what they're, gonna be asking for, of course, is a change in use from what it had been. So they'll be sending out letters, making neighbors aware, and then inviting them to come in and speak about it.
So they are aware with the allocation that we currently have, the first one to the table wins.
Yeah. And they claim, even to me up till a week ago or 2 weeks ago, that their process does not require a large amount of potable water. They feel that it will not be a burden or a problem regarding non-residential allocation.
So not the situation where we currently had with another developer that wanted to come in and work
Correct.
the whole allocation.
It's different. It's different.
But the same type of concept.
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I was reading correctly.
You're on point, yes, sir.
And also, I would like to commend our code enforcement, where I've seen that we have fines going out and money coming back in.
Yes, sir. Jerry loves his job, we all know that.
Mayor Pro Tem.
So, Mike,
Just like the Cheshire Cat, doesn't it?
he does, he always does. So, my worry with these wayfinding signs, and now he's talking about the Zinc House, we may need to add brewery to the sign.
Why? Because it's not, it's private, right?
Well, you can't put the name of the company down, but you could put down restaurant or brewery.
We say shopping, right? On the other one, that we're directing Church Street, we use a very generic term. Shopping. We're not saying come down here to get a tan, or come down here to eat Italian food.
Get your teeth fixed.
Or get your teeth fixed.
Yeah.
Right? We're not saying brewery, come here to get loaded. You know, we're just saying, hey, this is downtown Creedmoor.
I just was wondering if, when we grant their permit, or when we get to that point, they might want to say, can we put something on the wayfinding signs?
The only
That would
unfortunate
indicate-
part is where they're positioned right now, it's not directing anybody down Fleming Street, right?
Oh, that's right, it's Fleming. I keep thinking it's Masonic,
No,
it's not.
that Main and Masonic where would be directing folks.
So it would be a
City
different
Hall
sign.
And the police department, that's right.
The other question I have is, I see two storefronts on Main Street that still have not complied with our cleaning up and making it nice and stuff like that. We have
We've been in
two,
contact with both of those owners, and they've continued to promise us that work is underway. So we've extended our deadline a little bit longer. Jim McGill for the old, Butler Creedmoor News, and Linda Toller.
oh, I've got another one.
You got another one?
There's another one. There's another one. The paint is chipping off the front of the building. The awnings are filthy dirty and got mold on them.
Okay, what's the address, do you know? What is it? Which one is it?
Carolina Cotton. Carolina Cotton. I was,
Kind of right across from the drugstore.
I thought that one was in decent shape. Have you taken a closer look?
I was sitting in the new beauty parlor across the street, staring at it for about 30 minutes, and I'm going, I didn't notice all that stuff before, but then I did. So if we could get Jerry, just take another look.
Sure.
I've got old eyes, so, I thought that the approval from DOT on those wayfinding signs was done in August. I could have sworn it was
That was the
August.
initial application. Our consultant only got back approval right at the end of September. That's when they were approved at those locations. He actually received the encroachment agreement. He would not go to fabrication before they
Right,
knew
absolutely.
that it could be put up. So we applied in August, but we didn't get our approval until about the end of September.
Okay, thank you.
I know it's never as fast as y'all want it to be, but
I've only waited 4 years. What's another 6 months?
it'll happen. It'll happen.
So true.
killing me.
All right, get back on the agenda, Sequasa report.
Okay. I'm going to do the Sequasa report, and with the assistance of my trusty clerk, who's going to help us, I'm going to take everybody to the Sequasa website. There it is. Now, go back to the main one again, Barbara, please. All right, so when you go to, how many people on this board have ever been to the Sequasa website? Oh, thank God, that's not bad. All right, so if you scroll up, and you get all the way down here, water quality questionnaire. Has anybody been there?
No. I know what it
Okay.
is, but
Well, that's good. So Sequasa approved in their last meeting, $250,000 to study water quality. But if we don't have people that tell us what the water quality is in their home, we have no idea of where to study. If your water is, Commissioner Wilkins said it, if it's got a bad odor or a different color, if you don't tell us, we can't fix it. I'm asking this board, and actually the entire Sequasa board, the chair, the executive director, myself, is asking everybody on this board, and anybody who answers the phone from citizens calling about water quality issues, please direct them to this site. Please, don't tell them to call somebody else, and then call somebody else, and then wait for a call back and all that stuff. They must go to this site, because this site, know that before Scott Schroyer came to Sequasa, there was no data collection on water quality issues. We would go out and fix one place, then we go out and fix another place, then we go out and fix another place. Sometimes we went back and forth to the same property 3 or 4 times. There was no tracing, no history, no data collection. This will let the contractor that we've hired to do water quality study know, well, wait a second, this street in Pecan Hill has always got problems. We've really got to look at what flows in and out of there. This street down in Golden Pond has never had issues. Now all of a sudden they do. What's changed? But we are spending $250,000 at the request of the customers to study the water quality. We've had 12 complaints all year. That's in 10 months, 12 complaints out of all the Creedmoor customers. If we have no complaints, we can't do a study here. They go to Butner, they go to STEM, they go to the county, they can do their studies there, and they can make changes there. But Creedmoor is the one that sent the letter, that has talked in public, all over social media, and we continue to say, but there's no complaints, there's no notices, there's no anything. We need to know who you are, where you are, what's your problem. We can't fix it, and I'm begging everybody, and we're going to do this to every board, Butner, STEM, county, please direct these complaints that you get either back to Sequasa's customer service, but even customer service. This is how we're going to maintain data on these problems. Church Street has had so many problems, but there's a 2-inch line on Church Street because it was old, and that's all they needed. They are replacing that 2-inch line as it breaks and hooking them up to the 6-inch line so it stops. But if they don't know, they can't fix it. So we are not ignoring the people that are complaining about the water, as other people, as been said, but you've got to tell us where your issue is. You've got to tell us what the issue is, and then we can address it. We will address it immediately, of course, but then we will enter that data into the study, and hopefully we can get it all fixed. Now, you've all seen the notice from Sequasa that we're going to start doing the chlorination stuff. And your water's going to smell like chlorine for a while.
Okay.
So we've got to get the chlorine all the way out to Wilton. So it's going to be heavy concentration here until we level it out. Lots and lots and lots of flushing is going to have to happen. But what we are asking, and we're gonna ask tomorrow night too in our Sigwasa meeting, please, go to this water quality thing, fill it out, send it in. I don't care if we get all 2,000 customers filling them out. At least we'll have something. Somebody can write in, my water's fine, I don't have a problem. Somebody else can say, it's terrible, I don't ever want to drink it. But that's how that we're gonna get this study done. We don't wanna send a contractor out and say, well, test here, we got no complaints from here, but test it anyway. We need the customers who have yelled the loudest to please help. And that's my Sigwasa report, Mr. Mayor.
All right, Commissioner Wilkins.
Madam Mayor Pro Tem, Commissioner Wade, if it's not cost prohibitive, if there's any way they can include those directions in our monthly mailings of our bills over the next couple months to kind of direct people to the website?
That's a great idea, but I've got to tell you, 4 years ago when I got on the board, a survey was sent out to every customer in their bill. And there was a person in Creedmoor who went on social media and said, do not answer the survey. They know our information. Let them figure it out themselves. We spent $3,800 on surveys, and we got back 6. So, I don't think that this Sigwasa board is going to be willing to shell that money out again.
Oh, can you guys ask tomorrow night?
Sure, I'll ask tomorrow night. I will.
Because who cares about what somebody said on social media? I mean, if you believe everything on social media, you know. Let's just ask them to please do that for us.
I will.
Thank you.
Commissioner Wade, do you have anything you wanted to add to that?
The only thing I was gonna add is, if the citizens, do go, our neighbors go to the website, it's a lot of point and click, and it's a lot of questions, absolutely. But it helps to figure out the information. But it also has got a location on there where they can put pictures. So if your water is cloudy and you want to put a picture of what just come out of your spigot with your address, then put it on there. And I'm going to go a step further. When you submit this as a citizen or neighbor or resident or friend or family member here in Creedmoor, shoot me an email. Let me know that you sent this in and you did this survey, so that way I have something to fall back up on for a record for us, for Creedmoor, to say, okay, I know that this citizen sent in one of our survey questionnaires, so let's make sure that we follow back up on it. And it gives me an opportunity to fall back on it, so that way I can know that things are being addressed.
All right, thank you, sir. Since we are here, Mr. Wade, official report.
Yes, sir. The Sigwasa meeting was attended. I also had the opportunity to enjoy the evening at National Night Out once I got off work. It was a nice evening. The little breeze was blowing, and there was a lot of people out and about. My 6-year-old was upset. He didn't win the donut eating contest. He blames his partner on that, so. No, it was our new lieutenant. But it was a great evening, and we got a lot of supplies to stuff in the fire truck to take and load the trailer that went out west.
Commissioner Gleason.
Attended the cotton dinner, it was very nice, and also attended the Sigwasa meeting.
All right, thank you, sir. Commissioner Wilkins.
I apologize due to a lot of personal church issues. I was not able to attend a lot of things I normally would have, so I do not have a report.
All right, thank you, sir. Commissioner Albright.
I attended the music festival, a lot of fun, and, Miss Angie, I have a question. What about our Park and Rec meeting? What do we plan on doing with that? Our monthly meeting? Cause I think October, cause the last time we met, we're gonna do it like quarterly or a need to basis. So, oh, they did? Okay, I'll have to check. Okay, I will check. I was out last week too, so I had to catch up on emails, but I will check. And, Chief, I dunked you at the music festival, I'm sorry.
He will remember that.
I know. That's it.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Well, you didn't dunk me, thank God. but
Everybody else.
45 little children did, and I could barely walk the next 2 days from climbing up that ladder. I forgot about you had to climb back up. The kids were throwing the balls so fast, I wasn't even on the seat, and they were throwing the balls, and I'm like, wait a minute, hang on a second. But the weather was so nice and warm. I got in there, it was a little chilly, but boy, it was good afterwards, and I wasn't hot the rest of the day. So, I attended the car tar dinner in Timberlake with the mayor and Commissioner Gleason, and who else was there? Oh, city manager was there. And we had a good time, except it was freezing in there. Attended a Sigwasa meeting, music festival, of course, great success again, and National Night Out, which I think they should have had the dunking booth at National Night Out, and all our police officers should have been in there. Look, you got a choice. It's either the donut eating contest or the dunking booth. But I'm gonna tell you something, if we ever wanna do a fundraiser, we can make some money on this dunking booth. I wanna thank, the two police, firemen who helped us, Christopher Way and Grayson, by jumping in there. The sheriff jumped in there, the chief was a hit, except we need a bigger dunking booth because his knees kept hitting the wall. No, and Ed Newman, is it Newman? Yeah. Wonderful. We had a great time. The kids had a good time. I got to splash every child that dunked me, so it was okay. I think I even splashed you.
Yeah, you did.
I'm surprised you didn't throw a ball to dunk.
If you've ever seen me throw a baseball, I'd have never hit that ball.
So then you run to it and you punch it. Chief, isn't that what you do? That's what I did for you.
Well, that's what I did when it was down at the lake. Okay.
I think it's great that Creedmoor has had all of these wonderful events. And I'm a little disappointed that people who say there's nothing to do in Creedmoor didn't attend them. And, I want to thank all the staff for giving up their Saturdays to be there and sit there all day long. We usually have a good time, but, and get a day off later, so it all worked out.
Thank you, ma'am. Mayor's report on 9/18, I attended the North Carolina League of Municipalities Mayor's Conference and have been appointed to their board of directors. 9/27, I've got a meeting with the Granville County Opioids Committee. We are coming along with federal dollars on that. We have hired an executive director, and hopefully we'll be able to make a real difference in a terrible thing that's going on. 9/25, South Granville High School Student of Merit. 9/24, Granville County Crime Stoppers meeting, which was preparing for the banquet coming up soon. The city, I think, is doing one table, and police department, are you doing one or two? One table. So please do try to make that if you can. 9/26, the Car Tar banquet, was an excellent down up at, in Timberlake. The what? I'm trying to think of the name of the Homestead, the little building behind it, and it was excellent. Mayor Linda Jordan from Butner received the Outstanding Municipality Elected Official, and Russ May, which represents us in District 5, received Outstanding County Commissioner. Let's see, Crime Stoppers it is. 10/1 National Night Out, which again went great. We will have more of a meeting update as to exactly how that went at our work session. And also attended the music festival. Angie, excellent job. I really appreciate 2 MCs. I managed to get home and take my nap, so that worked out well. And that concludes the mayor's comments. Now, if anybody asks, that's why the mayor doesn't have time to be seen taking pictures, helping the people in western North Carolina. I'm getting nasty Facebook posts that why isn't the mayor out there helping? do stuff, but,
Because we were told to stay here and let the workers and the first responders do their thing. So
And
you're
the
doing
sun went out there.
well, but the big thing is the mayor should be out there, should have a presence out there doing all this stuff. I'm not one to do that, to do things just to be seen.
Yeah.
All right, we have a closed session tonight. Is there anything else that needs to be brought before Mayor Pro Tem?
I want to thank the police department and the fire department for jumping in to collect items for the people in the western part, and now that this next hurricane is coming in, and it's really dangerous for the people of Florida. Resources throughout this country are going to be spread thin, but I also want to thank Commissioner Albright's son, who went out to the Western Carolina and helped. The fire department has done an Amazon link for the items that are required, and if you go to Amazon and place your order, they'll ship it directly to the firehouse. And today, when I went past the firehouse, the fire trucks were out, and the firemen were standing inside of there with tables, waiting to accept more donations. And I know that, people watching, I know that everybody in the city got one of these letters from the CREEDMOOR Fire Department. And I know that we give them a bit of money out of the city and the county, but they can't survive on that alone. Why do you think they make Brunswick Stew every year? It's not for the fun of it. They need to do fundraisers to help with the incidentals that they need that are not covered with the money that we have. They're also trying to build a firehouse. So please, if you got one of these letters in your mail with the envelope in it, please fill that envelope and please contribute to the fire department. I've asked before. I know I got in trouble for it once, for asking for it before, but I'm going to do it again. These are strangers that run from their families in the middle of the night to help. Ed can tell a better story on that than I ever could. But please don't forget about our fire department and the Fireman's Day Parade coming up Saturday.
While we're on that, Commissioner Way, how do you order or get the stew? Do you contact the fire department? Is it online?
So pre-orders were online, and they've already concluded.
Oh, well.
There will be stew for sale. If you go up to the FBC Academy, you'll be able to pull right through and tell them how many quarts you want, and they'll load you up. Pre-sales, you can pick up at the side of the fire station.
Okay. All right, thank you, sir. All right, at this time, we will have a closed session, so I'll entertain a motion to go to closed session.
So moved.
Yeah, what he said.
Commissioner Wilkins has made the motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. And we will take a short break while